Hello everyone, today I'd like to introduce you to my new series titled Dragon Ball What Ifinity. If you can't tell by the thumbnail, this whole series is basically going to try to combine all of Masakox's what if scenarios into a single story. Now you might have seen this video before on my channel, and truth is, I really didn't like that video, since the editing wasn't its best and I had a cold when recording, so my narration isn't at its finest. So I decided to do a complete remake on this part and hopefully make it a more enjoyable watch, so let's jump right into it. We open on the home world of the alien warrior race, the Saiyans. This planet, Planet Vegeta, has been a home to many different wars in the past. Many millennia ago, the Saiyans got into a civil war between good and evil, and one such Saiyan, Yamoshi, was able to harness the divine energy known as the Super Saiyan God. Unfortunately for him, he wasn't able to harness it to its full capabilities, and he was almost killed. But before his demise, the Supreme Kai Shin arrived and took Yamoshi away. Shin was impressed on how a mortal could harness the energy of a god, and so he trained him on how to use his godly powers. Eventually, Yamoshi was able to return home to Sadala, and with his full mastery of the Super Saiyan God form, he was able to utterly destroy the evil Saiyans, and Sadala remained a peaceful planet. That was, until the terrible intergalactic tyrant known as King Cold emerged and enslaved the Saiyan race. The Supreme Kai was not happy about this, but Beerus, the God of Destruction, stopped him and threatened him, telling him not to intervene since King Cold was making his job easier by keeping a balance of destruction. So the Saiyans remained slaves for many more years. One day, the Saiyans were tasked with taking over the planet of Kanassan and learning about the strange abilities they were said to have. This assault would be led by none other than the king of all Saiyans, Vegeta. King Vegeta led the Saiyans through Kanassan, slaughtering hundreds of their warriors and capturing those who showed off any of their strange powers. The king eventually finds his way to a small group of Kanassans, who used the last of their strength to attack King Vegeta with a powerful psychic attack. King Vegeta is stunned by the impact, and his right-hand man, Colonel Paragus, finishes off the Kanassans and tends to the king. King Vegeta shrugs him off, yelling that he's fine, but he starts getting all of these visions rushing through his head. Visions of a small demon similar to King Cold mocking him, the planet of Sadala being destroyed, and a huge, muscular, blonde Saiyan. King Vegeta shrugs this off as well, thinking the psychic attack was more effective than he thought, and he and the remaining Saiyans finish off the Kanassans and return home. Once the Saiyans return home, King Cold unexpectedly arrives with his son, Freeza. King Cold announces that he will be retiring, and effective immediately, Freeza will be taking over. King Vegeta suddenly goes pale, remembering the vision he had. That small demon was Freeza, and he was going to be the one to destroy Planet Sadala. Once Freeza and King Cold leave, King Vegeta angrily storms over to his son's pod and wonders what he's going to do to prevent Freeza from killing them all. As he's in the chamber, he sees something unusual. A baby, named Broly. King Vegeta starts to get some more visions of the future, and sees the buff blonde Saiyan again, and he puts two and two together, and realizes Broly must be this blonde Saiyan, and he may be the key to stopping Frieza. King Vegeta then decides to adopt Broly as his son and train him himself. Except, Colonel Paragus, Broly's father, doesn't agree with this news at all, and tries to take Broly and run, before the king takes his son from him, except King Vegeta isn't having it, and he quickly executes the colonel and announces to the world his newborn son, Broly. Meanwhile, Cooler, Frieza's brother and King Cold's second son, confronts his father and why his brother is going to be the next ruler and not him. Cooler starts to shout how it's not fair, and King Cold explains to Cooler that his brother is more fit since he is harsher than Cooler and will be fit to take over the universe without being pushed around by anybody. Cooler is not happy to hear this and decides to disown the family, and he goes off and takes over some planets on his own, and he establishes his own armored squadron while they plan on how to take down Freeza. For the next 3 years, Broly is raised along with his two siblings, Vegeta IV and Tarble. Broly and Vegeta spar all the time and get along amazingly, while Tarble is just the one who calms him down when it gets to be too much. King Vegeta realizes that this is the time when Frieza is going to destroy the planet, so just in case things don't work out as planned, he assigns his sons on a mission to a far-off world. Nappa is assigned to go with them, along with Raditz. Meanwhile, Bardock is in the middle of a mission on Planet Meat with his crew when they suddenly get a call to return home by the Freeza forces, unknown to King Vegeta. Before they leave, a Kanassan appears, one of the survivors of the genocide 3 years ago, who escaped Frieza's captivity. Bardock is ready to kill him, but the Kanassan explains that he's seen visions of the Saiyan race being destroyed by Freeza, and that Bardock's children, Kakarot and Raditz, will be the ones to destroy Freeza once and for all, if Bardock cooperates. Bardock is very confused on how he knows all this, but has heard rumors of their future vision and realizes all of this must be true. Bardock asks why he's telling them this, since it was the Saiyans who slaughtered and tortured his people. The Kanassan simply states that they aren't the true masterminds to the whole operation, and Frieza is the one pulling the strings, so he only wants revenge on Frieza. The Kanassan then offers to give Bardock his powers to help him along the way, and Bardock accepts by punching through his heart and receiving future vision. Bardock and his crew immediately return to Sadala, where Bardock confronts the king on what he's seen. King Vegeta tells him he knows and he's gotten the same future vision as Bardock 3 years ago, and he's foreseen Bardock receiving it as well, and has planned for this moment. King Vegeta then rallies his armies and tells them that both he and Bardock have witnessed Freeza discussing plans of destroying the planet, so they need to fight back. You see, if King Vegeta had gone out and said this years ago, nobody would have believed him, and he might have been overthrown or, worse, killed. So we needed to wait for Bardock to know about the destruction too, since 2 Saiyans are more trustworthy than 1. Frieza arrives on a planet earlier than expected, and King Vegeta goes to talk to him as a distraction to save some Saiyans time to get away. Bardock quickly goes to his wife Gine and tells her to take their daughter Kakarot and escape the planet. Gine is very confused as to why, and Bardock tells her it's the end of the world and Kakarot's the Saiyan's only chance of survival. Gine and her husband embrace as Bardock returns to the battlefield, and Gine takes Kakarot to go find an escape pod. On Frieza's spaceship, King Vegeta confronts him about why he's coming here unannounced, and Frieza attempts to execute the king, but he dodges, and reveals he's foreseen this event many times, so he's been training to put up a good fight before he dies. King Vegeta and Frieza battle it out on the ship while many Saiyans flee the planet. Bardock attempts to go help out the king, but suddenly sees a vision of his death and realizes it was pointless to fight back, and he must escape. Gine finds the remaining pod in the capital and successfully puts Kakarot inside and cries as she says goodbye to her daughter. Kakarot's crying and angry confused fits makes her hit the door button in the ship, which accidentally knocks Gine inside with her, and the ship departs to Earth. Bardock manages to find the king's secret spacecraft he had built for himself and his sons, and Bardock is able to escape with a handful of the king's royal guard. Many ships are shot down by Frieza's men, but luckily a few are able to get away. Frieza kills King Vegeta, then uses his famous Death Ball to destroy Planet Vegeta and all of the remaining Saiyans on it, while he laughs in delight.
I, for one, feel so much better now.
A short while later, Frieza comes across Vegeta and his crew on a distant planet, and informs them that their planet was destroyed by a meteorite. All of the Saiyans are very confused on how this happened, and Frieza offers them to work right alongside him, now that the race is gone. Now Frieza is acting very nice here, since he wants these Saiyans to be completely loyal to him, and they won't rebel against him the first chance that they get. Unfortunately though, Broly isn't having this, and attacks Frieza for even suggesting that he be their new father. Frieza easily knocks Broly out and attempts to kill him, but Tarble steps in and pleads for Broly's life. Frieza realizes that if he kills the Saiyan here, the others would never trust him and might try and overthrow him one day. Frieza says he won't kill Broly, but he can't have the Saiyan attacking him anymore, so as punishment, he'll be sent to a far-off world to think about what he's done. The other Saiyans don't want Broly to be sent off, but they understand Frieza's reasoning, and Broly is sent off for Vampa, while the others go with Frieza. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the first part of this revamped What If, and don't worry, there are plenty more parts on the way, it just might take a while for editing and stuff. So, until we meet again guys, catch you later.